Hello friends. So today we continue with Pablo and Neruda. Yesterday we saw his name is a very long one. This is his pen name Neruda, and from where did he get this Neruda? All those things we saw. The poem as such, it's very simple if you look at it. It says, sometimes if the Pablo Neruda, if the name of the poet is not given, you may think that it is a poem by Robert Frost. Of course, there is a difference. Is Robert Frost, of course, you have got a village or a rural atmosphere. Here it's not like that. It has a global sweep. That is the difference. Global sweep. That is, you find a global sweep. Global sweep. That is, isn't it? That's what you find in this poem. You see, first 20 lines I told you, told with we. First person narrative is first person, and it's inclusive. It's a simple future used for exhortation. Inclusive we. That is, let us, that's the meaning, let us. Now we will count to 12, let us count to 12, that's the meaning. Then the tense changes to imaginary condition. Would, if, that's the, I wish it would, that's the thing, I wish it would, or we wish it would. We wish we would all be together. Isn't it? That's one thing. Now you will ask me, this is why do you call this we part of the poem? Second part also you will find we, but there is only one we. Here you can see we repeated again and again. So that's first that reason I call it the we part or the first person narrative of the poem. But the other one is an explanation. Now, general pattern of the poem is couplet and quatrains. Couplet means 2 lines. First opens with a couplet. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. And then the poet moves into quatrains, 4-line stanzas. And you find every, or you can say many lines in this section. The figure of speech is synecdoche. Part is used for whole. For example, he says, let's stop for 1 second. Second is synecdoche. Why? Second is part for the whole. Can be whole day, whole week, whole month, or whole year. So that's synecdoche. Many places you will find that. Alliteration. There is a generous sprinkling of alliteration. We, see that? We. Then you have got, you have a sudden strangeness, sibilance. Sudden strangeness. Isn't it? Then, synecdoche, I told you, you have got many lines you will see. Alliteration, synecdoche, personification, face of the earth, personification, face of the earth. Earth is considered as a human being, face, just a face. So, and I told you also about the movement, see the change in the tense I told you. Then, in this section, what happens is that first, there is an exhortation to keep still. Then, second, you will find what is meant by keeping still. What does the poet mean when he says keeping still? So you have got these words, expressions, phrases. Unknown words, there's not even a single word unknown to you. Then you find all activities what are the activities that should come to a grinding halt? Grinding halt means sudden halt. Only when you have got sudden halt, there can be stillness. And then you cannot have a gradual stillness. That's not possible. So it shall be sudden. what should we do? What we should not do? What should we do? Walk with our brother and so on. What would happen if a third world war breaks out? What would happen? If a third world war breaks out, what will happen? There will, as Bertrand Russell said, there would neither be victor nor vanquished. Vanquished means defeated. There will neither be victor nor vanquished. The world, our earth, our mother earth, that definitely would become uninhabitable place. Human race will be wiped out of this surface of the earth, no doubt about it. So that pain, that's what I said, it has got a global sweep. That pain in the heart of the poet, that is what makes this poem so great. That pain for the survival of the human race. Pain when the poet thinks of the extermination of the human race on this, our planet, this planet of ours. Pain that the poet feels, what he experiences, not feeling, but he experiences. What would happen in case a third world war would break out? What might happen if would break out? That is the pain in the mind of the poet. That's what he is sharing. So he says, stop, think, stop, look and proceed. Stop all the activities, think for 1 minute and proceed. What you should do. That is what the poet says. First I will recite, alright, first as usual, what we do is, I will give you the main points. Point 1, you already I have told you, that is, so the exhortation part of the poem, first person, plural, and inclusive. Inclusive of narrator as well as the listener. Now, what do you mean by still? That is, keeping still, do not move. We should not move. Speak the language of silence. Stop for 1 second. Or let us all be together. Let it be an exotic moment. Let there be a sudden strangeness. Doing nothing. Put on clean clothes. Stop doing harm. Wars. W-A-R-S. Walk with brothers. Doing nothing. Doing nothing. Understand? That is the point. That doing nothing is not negative. It's positive. I told you about vipassana, meditation. You don't do anything, but you do everything. Vipassana. Like that. In this case, it's not sleeping. Then what activity should come to a grinding halt? No fishing, no salt gathering, no wars, green gas, fire, no rush, no engines. So these are the activities that spoil your peace. Or they stand as obstacles to a meditation. What should we do? Walk with our brothers, arm in arms, under the quiet, cool shades of trees. Arm in arm, under the quiet, cool shades of trees. And then, what would happen at the end of a third world war or next war? There will be total annihilation. A-N-N-I, annihilation, H-I-L-A-T-I-O-N, annihilation. Nil, that is. And then, tense I told you, simple feature for exhortation. Imaginary condition, wood. Poetic devices, synecdoche, alliteration, repetition, and personification. Personification. These are the main Poetic Devices used. Now I'll recite those lines and then we'll see. Now, we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment, whatever. Without rush, without engines, we would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hot hands. Those who prepare green wars, wash with gas, wash with the fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. This nothing is positive. Macbeth is very famous nothing. Sometimes you might have come across. Life is a tale told when idiots full of sound and fury signifying nothing. There is this negative, but here it is positive. Same word used, but in one it is negative and the other is positive. This is positive nothing. You do nothing for something great. You sacrifice all these things for something great to come. I hope you understand that the meaning. Nothing here and nothing in Macbeth. Famous soliloquy, like tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded times. And all of yesterdays, and then and then he says, signifying nothing. So that is negative. So let's begin the couplet. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. Now body movement also. Not only mind but body. Not only mental but physical. What is the significance of counting 12? Taking a warm-up, a period of, you are entering into total stillness that you cannot all on a sudden do. It's a change so that you are prepared. You can count 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever it is. These are up to you. As I told you, somebody says that 12 because there are only 12 digits in the clock, on the face of the clock. Maybe. That could be. See that? But I don't want to say further anything on that. Means there should be a space. That is. You are going for an interview. You cannot straight away walk into the interview room where the members are sitting. What you do is you go there, there is a resting time. Some time to cooling off, so to say. That's all. I think that is the meaning. Some cooling off is required. Just as before starting a game, you warm up. Otherwise, as I told you, your shoulder will be somewhere else and your knees will start paining. So kind of cooling down, calming down. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. So before you hear the whistle or the bell for total silence, get ready. That's what the poet says. For what? And what kind of a stillness is that? For once on the face of the earth, in this world, let's speak in any language. Speaking any language means language of silence. Any language that means what? You are speaking a language of silence. If you ever have experienced Vipassana meditation, you will understand it better. You can get idea of Vipassana meditation from YouTube. You can see how people sit, how people meditate. Doing nothing but doing everything. That is the thing. So let's speak in Indian language. Let's talk for 1 second. 1 second means not 1 second, but it can be, for you it may take 1 day, for the leaders of this world it may take 3 months. Right? So it is synecdoche, part for the whole. Face of the earth, personification. Then it would be an exotic moment, without rush. Why this moment is exotic? It will be totally a strange experience, a sudden strangeness for the human race, because the human race is, as I told you yesterday, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Isn't it? We lay waste our powers. No time to stand and stare. That's the thing. So this is an exhortation. Strong appeal, and that is an exhortation. So what exotic moment, sudden strangeness. It will be very strange because we are not used to it. Remember, think of this now. The moment you are aware of yourself, that is, as a baby, you know your father, you know your mother. The mirror stage, isn't it? The mirror stage, as Lacan would say, mirror stage. Then from that time onwards you are busy. Busy, no time. This is what you hear everyone, I have no time. Why don't you do exercise every day, morning, go for a walk? Oh, no time. Why don't you prepare your lessons properly? No time. Why don't you sleep properly? No time. This is all what you can hear. So that's all. When you stop doing all these things, what experience you will have? That's what he says. It will be an exotic moment, a sudden strangeness. Without rush, without engines, without repetition. Without repetition. That's another poetic device used here. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Because we don't speak any language. We speak the language of silence. So whether you are a European, Indian, or Chinese, or American, German, you don't care. Because you are not speaking a language. You are known by the language you speak. Isn't it? So here, we are all together. This total leveling, we can say. We are all together in a sudden strangeness. You don't, do we find any difficult words here? No. Not move our arms so much. Synecdoche, arms. Arms means part for the whole. That is again synecdoche. So personification, synecdoche, and alliteration, we have a sudden strangeness. That is alveolar fricative. In phonetics we say this alveolar fricatives. And now that is repeated. They are also called sibilants. S-I-B-A-L-A-N-T. So repetition of sibilants. Alliteration. Alliteration, I will say the tongue twister, then you will understand it better. Peter Piper picked a peck of pepper. Did Peter Piper pick a peck of pepper? If Peter Piper picked a peck of pepper, where is the peck of pepper? Did Peter Piper pick? That is alliteration. So here, sudden strangeness. Sudden strangeness. We will count, we will all. That is alliteration. I think that is now clear. Then, this sudden strangeness or exotic moment to materialize, what should we do? Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. So fisherman stands again for all the workers, against synecdoche. Fishermen in the cold sea. That is understood that all the people in the world doing some other kind of work. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. You don't catch. That means nobody should harm anybody. That's the meaning. So again, synecdoche. The man gathering salt would look at his hard hands. That means this is the time for repairing. Don't do any harm to anybody. In case while you were working, you had done something wrong. Suppose you had done something wrong. It can be your mind or it can be your body, some hurt. That this is the time for you to do what? To repair this stillness, this exotic moment, sudden stillness, sudden strangeness. That's what it is. I hope the ringing of the phone did not disturb you, because we are in a moment of sudden strangeness and exotic moments. We did not hear it because we are a sudden strangeness. We have stopped all the activities. We have counted 12. So whether the phone rings or not, it is none of our business. So we'll proceed. So fishermen should not do this. That means anyone. It's applicable to everyone. Repairing your hurts, that's applicable to everyone. Then he moves global vision. Those who prepare green walls, wash with gas, wash with fire, mind you, there will be victory, no survivors. But understand, neither will there be victor nor vanquished in the next war. There will be total extermination, total destruction. Our planet Earth, this most beautiful place in the universe, because other places we don't know, that will become a bowl of ash or a heap of ash. That's all. So this is where he is calling attention to the entire world. I told you the global sweep of this poem. Victory with no survivors. Good put. Then what should you do? Continuation. What should you do? You put on clean clothes. Well, people fighting in war front, what kind of clothes they are wearing. So here it is. Put on clean clothes. White clothes. Showing innocence. Put on clean clothes. And walk about with their brothers. So, don't speak any language. Speak language of silence. Walk around with your brothers. Don't harm anybody. If at any time you are harmed, you repair yourself. There should be not even think of wars. Instead, let us all put on good clothes, clean clothes, and walk arm in arm with our brothers. Universal brotherhood, universal peace. This is the appeal of this poem. Global sweep, I told you. That is the appeal of the poem is that universal brotherhood. That is world peace. He was a pacifist. P-A-C-I-F-I-S-T. one who stands for peace. That's why Gabriel Garcia has said, Marcus has said, the greatest poet of the 20th century in any language. His appeal is global. I told you, apparently it's as simple as a Frost poem. But here the difference is, we are going to study a Frost poem also. Robert Frost. This is the difference is this. It's simple words, simple lines. What has the poet achieved? The poet has achieved something so splendid and magnificent, the world peace. That is it. And walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. In the shade, the cool shade of trees, in gardens, in bowers, under bowers, sit there or walk, arm in arm with your love, universal love. Peace, world peace, universal brotherhood, and universal love. Then there will be no war. Then we will share a life of sharing and caring. So this is what makes this poem so great. I hope you have been following my way of thinking, or my way of, or what I have already told you, explained. It's clear, nothing to doubt about. Any clarification required, once again I will go through this summary. The exhortation part of the poem, first person, plural, inclusive, we have already seen. Then keeping still, that means do not move your arms, limbs. Speak the language of silence, stop for 1 second. Let us all be together. It will be an exotic moment, because never we have experienced. This is not an ordinary moment, we have never experienced that. This is sudden strangeness. Again, because we have never experienced it. You should do nothing, twice do nothing. Put on clean clothes, stop doing harm to others, walk with brothers. Understand? So this is what you should do, that is stillness. So stillness is, here it is, actually, stillness, here it is, activity. That is the difference. Outward it may be still, but inward, because after all, what as the advertisement, you are very familiar with that, an idea can change the world. Same way, it's an idea and this can change the world. Understand? Then what you should stop. No fishing, no salt. No fishing means no activity. Not just fishing. No fishing, no salt gathering, no wars, no green wars, no gas wars, no fire, wars with fire, no rush, no engines. The whole world comes to a grinding halt. Just as you pull the train, the train is going like, then you pull the chain, then you pull the chain of this world. Think of this imagery. The world is like a train, moving. Then you pull the chain, then what will happen? But even then it requires a cooling time. That's why I count to 12. That is. And then you have walk with your brothers, arm in arm, under the quite cool shades of trees, wearing clean clothes. What would happen? What? This is questions now. Explain what is meant by a moment of stillness. During the moment of stillness, what activities should be stopped? Answer. What should we do? Answer. What would happen to a world war? Answer. What are the poetic devices used? Synecdoche, alliteration, repetition, personification. Tense, because from this first quatrain starts with a opens with a couplet, but the first quatrain and the second quatrain you find wood, because that is the wish of the poet. So you have got imaginary future, conditional, and then you have, I told you about the structure, couplet and quatrain. Global sweep means it is appeal for universal love, universal brotherhood, and world peace. Bye. Have a nice day.